Good. They're getting ready to play. I mean, sometimes, kids that age, they live day to day. They're worried about what their next meal is going to be, and then sometimes when the game is so far away, it seems like before the break, it's hard for them to stay focused and look that far ahead. But the closer we get to the game, they're getting a little bit more locked in. You can tell. It's like I told them, once we get to Friday and get into a normal routine where it's more a typical of what they're used to, all of a sudden their instincts will take over and they'll start getting into that mode of preparing for a game. So they're excited to play, and it just maybe hasn't hit quite yet, and they still think it's a long ways away. But the closer we get, I feel really good about where we are preparation-wise.
I know we talked a lot about Todd yesterday, and inevitably I knew there'd be a question or two we forgot to ask. Have you talked to him since that happened?
Yeah, I've talked to him one time, and just discussing options and what opportunities are going to be, and I'm definitely drawing closer to making a decision on my future and of myself and my family, and so hopefully I can put that to sleep and it doesn't become just a distraction for the game.
Talk a little about the steps that you and your staff have had to take to just keep your guys focused on the task at hand with all the unusual circumstances around the coaching change.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is I'm the fifth person that stood in front of these young men in 12 months and said, "Hey, I'm your coach." So therefore, you're gonna have trust issues, and so basically, what you have to do is you just have to be genuine. You got to be yourself, and that's all we've tried to do. We're not trying to convince them that you're something you're not. You just be genuine. We're here for a reason, and that's to coach you and prepare you to win a football game, and that's what we've done. And and you show those young men. And basically what has in turn happened is you gain their respect. And I think that's what's happened over the course of the last 2.5 weeks. I think our kids respect the coaches that are here and have a tremendous respect for them. And they're going to play hard, not necessarily for us as coaches, but for each other, and play for themselves and their family and the university that they're representing.
With the limited staff that you're working with, how has that affected what you're able to do on a daily basis in practice?
Nothing really. We've just gone on. We've plugged in. We've had our graduate assistants and quality control guys have stepped up and done a nice job in helping. Plus the things that they normally have to do. With the game breakdowns and the film study and having practice video and stuff like that, and practice scripts ready to go. Those guys have worked hard, extremely hard all year long. They're very familiar with what we do. So we just really operated like we always would, and try not to let it become a distraction, because you really can't control those things. It is what it is. I guess maybe the years I had as a high school coach is paying off. You got 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and you're a head coach, and we're just going to make the best of it, not use it as an excuse, and try to get them the best we can prepared.
Have you talked at all with Paul Christ about maybe staying or anything like that?
No, Coach has been, he prepared for the Rose Bowl, and then we were traveling the day after that game, so I hadn't had a chance to visit with Coach, but from everything, all indications and people I've talked to, he's a great man and going to be a successful coach at Pitt.
No, until a couple of weeks ago you were working with the defense, but when you look back and getting ready for this game, how different is your offense after Ray Graham went down? He still made first team all conference even though he missed a few games. How different is it with Zach and Isaac?
Well, it definitely shows you the respect, first of all, for Ray, the people, the coaches that had in our conference. Secondly, it shows you what team is. That's what makes football a great sport. Someone goes down, someone steps up. We were redshirting Isaac Bennett. He was on scout team for the majority of the season, so he was down, with us over 3/4 of the year. Shows you a young man sacrifices the opportunity to redshirt to come out and do what? Help his team, and look at the productivity that he's been able to produce over the last 3 or 4 games. And again, Zach is just a tremendous person. He's a tremendous competitor, and they've stepped up and filled a void and really changes what kind of offense we've become. More of a ball control. And I think you'll see that on Saturday. We'll be a little bit different in our approach. I mean, we're going to try to take time off the clock, be very not necessarily methodical in the way we do things, but ball control is going to be a big part of what we are. And I think you saw that a little bit in the Syracuse game. And hey, let's play great defense. Punting the football sometimes is not a bad play. punt it and let's pin them deep. The game was on the line there in the fourth quarter against Syracuse. We punt the ball deep, make a great play with Antoine Reed and the hit on the quarterback and win the game. So that's kind of the plan that we're going to try to employ this Saturday.
Can you update us on where the injured guys are? I know Zach he's probably out, but is there any other guys that you anticipate maybe not playing?
I think we're pretty much from what I hadn't read it. I didn't get a chance. I woke up and went to the breakfast this morning, but didn't get a chance to read the injury report. But I think we're about as healthy as we can become. I would assume. Don't think just got some typical bumps and bruises of things that you have throughout the season. But I don't think anyone that played other than Zach. We were hoping we'd get him back. I don't know. But other than that, I think everybody's healthy.
Your team split your last 6 games and then obviously went through this unusual circumstances of the last couple of weeks. How would you characterize the energy, the optimism going into this bowl game?
Well, it shows you the resiliency of young people. I mean, at first, you got there's bitterness and there's all sorts of emotions that come to the forefront when change transpires and I can't tell you enough about how our kids have handled this situation. At first, they went through probably a range of emotion that you could possibly have, but as time has gone on, time heals certain things, and I truly believe that the closer we get to the game, the better that they're getting focused, and I think you'll see us go out and compete.
You obviously have a history of coaching against Jim Jones from your days at Tulsa. You almost have an advantage because you know his personnel and he doesn't know yours?
Well, I think I don't know if it really is an advantage, but I think there's definitely a familiarity with Coach Jones and his style. I mean, the sign of a good coach, which Coach Jones is, he just does what he does, and he does it over and over, and he's very good at execution. So therefore, they're going to do what they do and hope that you make the mistake. And that's the sign of a good coach. There's definitely things that he does that he was doing at Hawaii, and he's not changing that. And that shows you that he has a true confidence and a belief in what he does. Even though we're familiar with it, you still got to stop it. So, and plus, it doesn't really, I'm not going to play one play. You got to be able to get that across to some 20-year-old young men, and they're going to be the ones that make the plays.
What concerns you, or who concerns you the most about SMU going into this game?
Well, I mean, from an overall standpoint, I think they're very big and physical up front defensively, no doubt. They're very athletic at linebacker, so especially the 2 outside backers. So I think being able to run the football is going to be a challenge. So we're going to have to do a great job of being able to run the ball. I feel good about our matchup. I think that it's our strength on their strength offensively. They got I think a great offensive line, probably one of the top offensive lines that we've played all year long as far as being coached. Their size, I think they're very well schooled. So it's going to be a great challenge for our defensive front. And then I like our matchup with our defensive backs and their receivers. So I think we got to stop the run, and then but I like the matchup with our defensive backs on their receivers.
A couple of the coaches of teams that have come into Dallas have said SMU runs this sort of unusual offense. Did you all face anyone this year who runs something similar, or is this sort of foreign to your guys?
Not really. I think that probably coach still runs it's run and shoot offense, which he's ran for a long time, and I mean I think that. Probably the closest thing we've seen would be West Virginia. A lot of 10 personnel formations, spread the field, try to get the ball into the hands of their playmakers, and a lot of their passes are short, controlled passes, which are basically long handoffs. So I think that West Virginia would probably be the closest thing we've seen to what they try to do.